Hey everybody, Michael LaFido. Welcome to another Luxury Fridays. You're in the right place if you're an agent and you're looking to work smarter, not harder, and you're looking to increase your average sale price. We have a really exciting show today. We have several guests on. I think this will be the first time we have three, maybe four guests on at any given time, which is exciting. So again, if you are a newer agent, you're a seasoned veteran, you're with a big franchise, or you're with an independent, there's going to be something for everybody watching today. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about prospecting high-end buyers, high-end sellers, and we're going to go into that here in a few minutes. Just a reminder, if you're watching live, you can always ask me a question in the chat feature. Literally, if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Instagram, you're watching on uh, TikTok, I can't help you. But if you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, literally, you can type in your comments your questions in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. That would be terrific. Again, this is a live stream, yet we are also having a podcast that you are watching or listening this. This is our podcast as well. We're talking about prospecting. We're talking about lead gen. And let's talk about that real quick. And again, if you have a question or you're listening to a replay down the road, you can always send me an email, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. I want to talk to you guys about the the benefit of prospecting and lead gen, and specifically, we're going to be talking about cold marketing. So there's cold marketing and there's warm marketing. Warm marketing is people that know you, like you, and trust you. When you're talking about high-end buyers, high-end sellers, you're going to get a much higher conversion rate if they know you, like you, and trust you. And if they don't know you, there are some ways that you can increase your conversion through being out there on social media, on YouTube. They're going to Google you, they're going to find out about you, and your conversion rate will skyrocket because they feel like they know you, like you, and trust you, even if it's a prospect. So that's warm marketing. That's warm marketing. We are going to be talking about cold marketing today. Cold marketing, prospecting, lead generation, people that don't know you, like you, and trust you. Again, for those of you that are just tuning in, hit that subscribe button. Again, go to youtube.com/@luxury specialist. That's our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe, like, comment. Again, you can comment in the comment section no matter where you're watching from. Okay, I got people watching from Houston, Texas. Welcome, Houston. Okay, so type in the comment section and then we will be able to answer questions. All right. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bringing on a guest here in a minute. Uh, Melony is a Coldwell Banker agent, and I'll be bringing Melony in again. If you guys have questions, leave us a like, leave us a comment, and I'll be bringing some people on from the RedX as well. But I want to give you some kind of context before I bring on my guest. Going back at the start of the year, I did a training with the RedX. It was called the Luxury Property Bootcamp, and we really focused on cold marketing, canceled and expired, and best practices. And we talked about mindset. What's the mindset of somebody that's been trying to sell their home and they are frustrated? Okay, so we talked about the mindset, what keeps them awake at night, and ways that you can bring value and get them to raise their hand and contact you. And so one of the attendees of that class went through it, and she's going to be sharing with you her ahas today. And I'm going to bring her on right now. Melony, she's out of Texas, and her and I met a little over a year ago. You attended my luxury designation training that I did in Denver in January of 2022, and you and I have stayed in contact through social media. And you went through our class. But before we go into the class, tell everybody a little bit about you, how long you've been licensed. You're with Coldwell Banker, and then we'll go into some Q&A before I bring in the RedX guys here in a few minutes.
Sure, sure. Well, as Michael said, my name is Melony Trementozzi. I am based just north of Dallas in Texas. The market here is booming. It's crazy. I have been an agent going on 4 years now and just have really enjoyed the value that Michael brings to the community and just the education material that he's provided. So excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me as a guest today.
Absolutely. So you're out of Texas. Miss Texas, Mrs. Texas International. You just found that. What's the official title?
You said it correctly, Mrs. Texas International. That is the title that I was just crowned with.
You just had a pageant, and you just won that about 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yes, correct.
That's great. So, but more importantly than beauty on the outside, beauty on the inside. But great job with that. You got a beautiful family as well. So let's get right into things a little bit. I have another guest that might be joining, Bessie. She had some technical difficulties. I have Jonathan from the RedX that is going to be joining us as well here in a little bit. But let's first dive in. So as I told everybody, we did a luxury boot camp with the RedX. RedX stands for Real Estate Data Exchange. The RedX, maybe you've heard these. They're good friends of mine. There's Vulcan, there's other companies out there. I found RedX to be the best with their data, with their customer service, great people. So I did a 6-hour training called the Luxury Property Bootcamp, where we talked about the mindset of canceled and expireds or for sale by owners. We talked about best practices. So tell everybody a little bit, Melony, about what your experience was with canceled and expireds before the class. You went through the 6-hour boot camp yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about what your experience was beforehand, please.
Sure. So when I first started out as a young, hungry agent, I was willing to do whatever I could to grow my book of business, and my efforts and attempts to reach out to expired listings was that so popular text. And I got a lot of negative responses. That's not a very well-liked approach by many of the expired homeowners. And so this was helpful in learning some different techniques and also just implementing things that I've learned over the past couple of years.
Good. So what I hear you saying is, before you went through our course, which again is the Luxury Property Bootcamp that I did with the RedX, it's a 6-hour course, you would communicate primarily through canceled and expireds via text message. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So just a good reminder for anybody, we're talking about cold marketing. You got warm marketing is your database, people that know you, like you, and trust you. Today's we're really focusing on the opposite of that: cold marketing, canceled, expired, lead gen, prospecting, working other people's open houses. And so the preferred communication method probably for you, Melony, is text.
Not necessarily. That is definitely one way I find easy.
Okay. So yeah. It's we talk a lot about this right here.
That was easy.
The easy button. So we're going to try to help Melony and everybody that is listening give you the easy button. There's no exact easy button. And we know, being in sales, that everybody communicates differently, right? Some prefer text, some prefer phone call, some prefer direct mail. And so one of the ways when I broke into luxury, going back 11 years ago, was canceled and expired through direct mail. Because and this is no disrespect towards Keller Williams, they have amazing bold classes, but they're talking about pick up the phone, right? So if there was a bold class that got out earlier in the week, that canceled an expired home, that seller that fired their agent or the contract was up, they were probably getting 60, phone calls throughout the week, but they only got a handful of direct mailing pieces. So a lot of my training, I talked about the different methods of following up with prospects, and one of them was direct mail. Was there anything that stood out for you, Melony, from a direct mail standpoint?
Yeah, one thing I loved that you talked about, the QR code is very popular nowadays, but just taking advantage of that and doing an introduction video of yourself and having that QR code kind of bring it back, so you can add that personal touch of like, hey, I'm a live person. I'm friendly. I actually know something that I can perhaps bring value to you with.
So you bring up a good point. So, this is like an oversized postcard that I literally just did everyday direct mail, and it was just sold. But I know you can't really see it that much, but it says we sold this home for 52.3% more per square foot. Scan the QR code to hear how we did it. Well, guess what? They scanned the QR code. They went over to a landing page with me with a video, and they feel like they know me, like me, trust me a little bit more through video. So video's key. And that was QR code, you said, is a big aha. Video, perhaps. Again, I think your authenticity comes through in video, Melanie, not just you, but most people. And so I think that's really key. So what were 3 big takeaways through the luxury boot camp, not having a huge amount of experience with cancel and expireds, that you took away? And I know you took much more than that. You provided a list, literally a huge list of takeaways. And I appreciate that. So tell me a little bit about your top 3 that you said, wow, I got that from that boot camp that Michael did with the RedX.
Yeah, for sure. So I've got my notes with me
here. You
here.
Got your notes, because you typed them
I'm a
up.
notes girl.
Appreciate
Hands
it.
down.
You typed them up nicely for me, and we provided them to the RedX, and they're going to take those snippets of yours and Bessie's and others, and they're going to put them in short little micro clips, video clips, short and longer. So you'll probably see those that are watching or listening to this, and maybe you're a RedX client or you do some Googling, you might see some video clips from my training in the future that I put out there, as well as the RedX. So go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I think one thing that really stood out to me, and it's really honestly common sense, but you really hammered on it, was just to show up different. And whether that's with that QR code that has a link to a video, or really taking the time, like if you're, whether it's a direct mail or you're doing something else, to reach out
even
to
a traditional listing appointment, right?
Right.
That knows you, likes you, and trusts you.
Yeah, exactly. Like making sure you've really researched the property. You've really researched who is the seller and how do they operate, and taking the time, hopefully even in advance, to get to know them. And depending on how far you are into the process, sending something, like putting something behind your name and like making yourself real. So I thought that was one really good thing, was just making sure that you're differentiating yourself.
Yep.
And you talked about later in the training, one thing that I loved is you really talked about disc personalities. And if you've gotten in the door and you've gotten the opportunity to, talk with someone, that you actually, just the importance of really knowing who is this person, because one size doesn't fit all. In my presentation that I might have for one person is going to be so dry and boring. So really just making sure that as an agent, you're adaptable and you're sensitive and taking into account different personalities.
Yeah, that's a great point. You got to be like a chameleon. You have to adapt to your environment. Again, those of you who are just tuning in, this is Michael LaFido. You're listening to another Luxury Specials podcast, a live stream. If you have questions, you can always send me an email, Michael at Marketing Luxury Group, if you're watching the replay or down the road, or if you're watching us live, you can type in your comments, whether you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Again, I have Melony here. Melony is an agent out of Texas. She's with Coldwell Banker. She's doing some amazing things. And she went through our course. You'll see it on the screen right now, that I did with the RedX, and she's sharing some aha. So number 1 is, the QR code, the communication, the show up differently. Show up differently. Everybody knows a real estate agent in this great state of Texas. Same thing in Illinois or Florida or wherever you're watching. I'm going down to Cabo, Mexico. I'm doing my training here. Next Friday, I'm doing my luxury designation training. You see it scrolling across, in person in Cabo next week. And same thing. A lot of people in Cabo know a real estate agent. So what are they doing in Cabo? What are you doing in Texas? What are you doing in your town to show up differently, to stand out versus the competition? You want to be the mayor of your town. When you go to the country club, you go to the health club, you go to the grocery store, you want people to be like, you know what? She's that real estate agent. He's that real estate agent. So I'm going to bring on, and stay on, please, Melony. Melony, I'm going to bring on Jonathan from the RedX. Jonathan from the RedX. You see the RedX on the image right here, but I'm going to bring on our good friend Jonathan, and I'm going to bring on Tyler. Both of them are with the RedX, and so we're going to have 4 on the screen. I think I can do 4. I've never done 3. There's 3. I'm going to type the question out, and I'm going to do 4 over here. I got 4 people on here. We got 4 here.
It's party.
Can you hear me okay? Jonathan, Tyler, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Hey, Michael.
So Melony went through our luxury boot camp through the RedX, and she shared a bunch of ahas, and you guys are going to do some video clips. but I thought this would be a great time to bring you guys on screen to tell everybody about the RedX, what it is, what it isn't, why agents should do it. And I talked before you came on about warm marketing. Warm marketing, WARM. Warm marketing is people that know you, like you, and trust you. The opposite of warm is cold marketing, lead gen, prospecting. Again, if you guys have any questions for my guest, literally all you got to do is type them in the comments section. I don't want to cover up Tyler, but type them in your comment section and we can get him, get those questions answered. So I got my 4 guests on here and we're talking about cold marketing. Tell everybody about the RedX. I'm going to have Tyler talk right now. Tyler, tell everybody about your role at the RedX, how long it's been in business. It stands for Real Estate Data Exchange, because the data that you have is really important to whether you're calling, whether you're direct mail, whether you're texting. Tell everybody a little bit about the RedX. And I know we have a special for everybody that's watching where they get if they want to find out more, they'll get it waived if they mention us. But before we do that, tell everybody about the RedX, how long it's been in business, and some of the services that you guys offer. And then we'll incorporate Melony here in a minute. So Melony, don't go anywhere, but I'm just going to have these guys on the screen for a few minutes, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, Mike, thank you. Great to be with you. So we are just a few months away from our 20th year mark, which is pretty awesome. So we are almost at 20 years in business, founded in the middle of 2003. I've been here with RedX for over 15 years. I am currently the VP of sales here. So I've been here through thick and thin. I was here through the recession in 2008, 2009, as things started picking back up again in 2013, 14, and then through the COVID markets and the markets that we're in now. So I've seen a little bit of everything. And at our core, and it's like you mentioned, at our core, we're a data company. I mean, data is really what drives your business. It's what drives your social media. It's what drives your prospecting. It's what drives your follow-up. It's what drives your database management. Data is everything. And so what RedX has done, Mike, you've had a great relationship with RedX over many, many years. In fact,
yeah, I'm trying to think as you were talking about it, I'm trying to think. So you guys launched in 2003. I got to imagine I've been a client of yours since 07, maybe. 15,
yeah, in fact,
16 years. I'd love to know the answer to that.
Yeah, and I could look that up for you. But you and I met you at an event on the East Coast, I think in 2008, and I mean it's been history and friendship ever since then, which is awesome. So, but really, what we've tried to do to sum everything up is we've tried to create products and tools that help you to leverage that data in your business, because understanding the numbers and understanding the data is the heart of your business. If you don't have a pulse on that, your business is never going to grow. And so the products and tools that we provide for people is all about helping you to acquire clients, having the right data, being in front of the right audience, and then leveraging that into personalized communication in a number of different ways: on the phone, through mailers, knocking doors, through social media, both paid and organic. So a little bit of everything. So that's the 100,000-foot view of
a lot of information. You guys are going on your 20th year. So at the very basic level, what canceled and expireds are, want to make you don't want to assume, right? You know what they say when you assume. So those of you that are listening, a canceled and expired, there's an old adage, list to live. Florida International did a study once, and they focused on agents that only worked with buyers, agents that work with buyers and sellers, and agents that only work with sellers. And the agents that work with sellers made a whopping 81% more. So, there's an old adage, list to live. I've said a sign in the yard is better than one in the car, and in real estate, sometimes it is better to be the second or the third agent. There's an old adage, you want to be the firstborn, the second wife, and the third real estate agent. And so literally, I just, putting a home on the market for 1.25 after we get off this live stream, and I'm going to be the second real estate agent. And so when a seller's contract is up, that's an expired. When a seller maybe fires their agent, or the agent fires the seller, that's a canceled listing. And so many of those people want to relist it. They still have to sell, many of them. And so you guys provide the data, the contact information for the seller. And you do so on a platform to be compliant, so you're not contacting somebody if they're relisted, because you can't, in our industry, you can't contact a home that's a home seller that's listed. Now, if they contact you first, check with your broker. But in Illinois, if the seller contacts me and they're listed, I can talk to them. I can't badmouth their agent. I can't talk in past tense, but I can talk about what I do and what I would do in future tense. And so you guys provide that data to make sure people are compliant, which is great. I want to make sure we hear from Jonathan. Jonathan was a big part of helping out with this boot camp we did. So Jonathan, tell everybody a little bit about you and what your role is.
Absolutely. It was great being the MC of the boot camp. I had a great time hosting and interacting with the agents that are working on breaking into the high-end market. So a little bit about myself. I've been helping real estate agents really iron out their duplicatable process that they're putting into gear every day. I'd say for the last 10 years. And I obsess about it, going after the low-hanging fruit and really mastering what it takes to win big, targeting the daily expireds and the older expireds, and then brainstorming with clients on what to say and what not to say. So I've been in the industry for a little over a decade now.
Wow.
Been working with RedX since last summer. And my role here is an exciting role. I'm in charge of doing more outside events, bringing RedX to more stages. So that actually is something that we've been working on for the last quarter. You're going to see RedX and many more events. So I'm excited to spearhead that operation here. And you'll be seeing us out there live.
Wow, that's great. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but I want to put it on the screen right now. Again, for anybody that's interested in the RedX, I'll just put the link in there as well. But this link that you'll see displayed will literally give everybody. We will waive the $150 fee. And when I say we, the RedX will waive for any new clients. And I'll just put that link up there just so it's there by itself. So that's something, if you just put in the RedX, go to redx.com / and then my name there, you'll see that. And I'll just put the link on the screen in itself so you guys can see that. So you guys offer different services. I've been using your service for some time. You guys offer brand builder as well, where you guys can do some editing of videos. I know you guys are going to be, offering more with brand builder. I talked to Curtis about that as well. So the RedX is a company, if you're looking to take your business to the next level, you're going to see more cancel and expireds. When the market's hot, you don't see as many cancel and expireds because those homes sold, right? But when the shifting market occurs, the days on the market increase. The sellers maybe their expectations aren't as good as that they should be. They're expecting it to sell right away. They might fire their agent and they shouldn't. And so a service like the RedX is even more valuable. We have Melony. I'm going to bring Melony back on here, and I'm putting her on the spot. These are not rehearsed questions, Melony. But just out of curiosity, had you heard of the RedX before you went through the boot camp?
Geez, you are putting me on the spot. I had heard the name, but I honestly didn't really know much about it.
Perfect. So she had heard the name. She didn't know a whole lot about it. She went through the boot camp. She went through 6 hours of it. Before the boot camp, she, was familiar with cancel and expireds. But, one of her big ahas that she shared earlier was, QR codes, communicate with people the way they want to. You did some texting with some cancel and expireds. And you don't have to agree with me on this, but do you feel like you might do some mailers to cancel expireds after going through that 6 hours where I shared maybe why do some mailers versus just call or text because there's less competition mailing?
Yeah, definitely. I think you gave some, for me, because I'm such a personality.
You're a high I in the disc. Okay?
Yeah.
You're a high I. Okay, for the introverts, they might like mailings better because they don't have to talk to anybody. But high I's tend to like calling or texting because you're more interpersonal. Correct?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you gave some great tips about how to create mailings that can still be personal, be it the video that we talked about before, or even just like targeting specific properties and really doing your research and saying, I know why your house didn't sell. Like, I really enjoyed getting that information. And then, yes, I definitely think I'm on board with the mailings.
Well, I appreciate that. And anybody that's watching, if you have a question for Melony or the guys at the RedX, I'm going to type in the chat feature right now the direct link where I can bring you on camera if you want. We'll have 5. Okay, we have 4 on here now. But the other thing I want to say is, Melony, this is not rehearsed for them either. Do you have a question for the guys at the RedX? Like, hey, does your product do X? Or tell me about Y. If not, that's totally fine. But I love role playing, and I love, I do that in my trainings as well. Ring, ring. If you were to ring these guys, you got one of the big wigs on here from the RedX, from a canceled, expired, from a data, from a how is it delivered, to, hey, do you give their email address, to, hey, what phone numbers? Are you mobile only? Are you direct line? Do you have any questions as far as their data is concerned?
Oh, goodness.
Think about it.
Okay.
Think about it. I'm going to bring you back on because I want to show something. Think about it. Give me a thumbs up if you do something, and then I'll bring you back on here because I want to show the screen here. So think about that for a second. And while Melony's thinking about that, I do want to share with you right here that link that you see on the screen. If you were to go to that link, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the promo waived. Okay. You're going to see RedX's newest ad builder product. If you scroll down here, you'll see about canceled, geo leads, for sale by owner, for rent by owner, pre-foreclosures. Those are going to be on the rise, unfortunately. People bought homes sight unseen in the last 2 years. Guess what? They realized they didn't like it, or they overpaid for it. They had a life-changing event, and they owe more than the house is worth. You're going to hear more and more about those. My good friend Tony runs the designation called CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert, and you're going to see more and more of those. So this is what you're going to see if you go to the redx.com. You're going to get the 150 waived. Again, these guys are doing some amazing things. Would you like to add anything, Tyler, to what I'm not saying now?
So I don't know that I have a whole lot to add other than this. One of the things to remember when you're using anything in your business, there's usually some learning curve involved there. And this is true. And Mike, you're such a good resource for a lot of these things. I love that you mentioned role play. I mean, whether you're picking up the phone and calling expireds or you're doing mailers, sometimes it takes some time to tweak that message and find out how to get the response that you're looking for. This isn't something that you're going to jump into and all of a sudden it just works for you. There's not a silver bullet here. And I think that's the expectation that I want people to keep in mind is RedX has been in business 20 years because in addition to providing great products, we also provide amazing support and training and role play systems and all kinds of ongoing information to make sure that you can take what RedX provides and turn it into a pillar of your business. That's really what we want people to walk away with, not just a onesie twosie listing here and there. We want people to have RedX be an integral part of their long-term business strategy to gaining clients and working with listings.
That's a great point. It's one of many things that an agent should be doing. It shouldn't be their go-to, right? But it's like a portfolio. One of the things that we teach agents is, there's 5 primary price points for homes. You have entry level in every market or starter. You have average price property. You can find that out through your title company, your real estate board. You have high-end homes, which we define a high-end home as a home that's 2 times your average sale price in your market. You have luxury, and we define a luxury home for your market as find that average sale price, multiply it by 3, that's luxury. And then we define ultra luxury as 10 times the average sale price, 10x. Okay, if your average sale price is 210,000, 210 times 10 is 2.1 million would be ultra luxury. I share that with you because I talk about diversifying your portfolio of homes you represent. You should also diversify the properties that you represent, but also diversify your prospecting that you represent. Isn't that right, Tyler? Diversification.
Absolutely.
So this should not be necessarily your go-to, but you should include it. I'm going to bring Melony back on real quick to see if Melony has a question for you. And if not, I appreciate it too. But Melony, I'm going to bring you on. Think about canceled, expireds, anything that you might think of, because if you have that question, chances are our audience, who's maybe not heard of RedX either, has. So I'm going to bring Melony on to ask that question if she's got one.
Yeah,
it's off here, so this way I'm not blocking you. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
And I'm going to bring Jonathan back on as well.
Okay, perfect. So it's ironic because I thought of a question and you started touching on this. Just understanding sometimes, like you said, there is that learning curve. And so talk to me a little bit about your support that you provide to agents. And as we start, we're looking at data and we're understanding how it all works and how it applies. What support are you providing?
Awesome question, by the way. That was not
question.
That's a softball question, but it wasn't rehearsed. That would probably be a question that Tyler would say, please ask me this, because people get overwhelmed with data. They get overwhelmed with new platforms. And I know I do. So talk to him about that. Talk to her about that if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so support is hugely important, and candidly, we are a for-profit business, right? We're in this to be profitable, but we understand that if you're not profitable, that you're not going to continue to buy our product from us. And so we have amazing support, everything from live one-on-one customer support with people that are employed here in our office at our headquarters in Utah. We have chat support, we have phone support, we have email support, we have online tutorials. One of the things that I love that is such a cool thing that we do is all of our customers have free access to a live role play system. So Mike mentioned role play. Role play is one of those things that we all hate to do, but it's a crucial, necessary part. We have to practice what it is that we're going to do, and you can't just learn on the fly. You've got to be in front of the mirror. You've got to have a role play partner, and we make that really easy. So you call in. We have a special phone number that you call into as a RedX client. You use the touch tone on your phone to select what type of lead you'd like to prospect to. You can say, hey, expireds or FSBOs or geo leads. Then you even get to select the difficulty of the role play, and that's going to determine for the agent that you connect with on the other end here at our office, how much pushback, how many objections, how rude are they going to be, type of thing. So you can say, hey, an easy or a hard role play. Then you get connected live to an individual here in our office. You go through that role play. When it's done, we send you a recording of that you can share with coaches, trainers, accountability partners, whoever you need to share that with, and many, 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 many more things. Our podcast is every Thursday at 1:15. Mike, you've been a guest on our podcast multiple times, and it is such an amazing resource. Whether or not you're even a customer of RedX, there are amazing minds all across the industry that we've compiled into this podcast. We have well over, I think, 250 episodes now. You can listen to that anywhere on any of the podcast platforms that you like to listen to. 250.
You got me beat. We just released 234 yesterday.
Yeah, I think we might be maybe encroaching the 270 mark, which is pretty awesome.
Okay.
So support is important, and we have many, many ways for people to learn how to use our product. But it's not just how to use your product. When you call into my support staff and talk to somebody there, they're hugely knowledgeable of RedX products, but they're also hugely knowledgeable of your business. And so a lot of times those calls turn into, well, what strategies should I be implementing? And our people are knowledgeable enough to be able to speak to that, because again, we are here to support our client base. It's what's kept us in business as long as we've been around, is making sure that our clients have the resources necessary to learn, leverage, and duplicate the processes that we recommend.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I can attest. My assistant many times will call in, and you guys walk her through things. The other thing that you'll do is, you guys were Zooming before Zooming. You guys do a lot with, hey, go to this, what is it? What's the website where you can take over the computer, where you can walk them and take their mouse and see what we're seeing, to walk them through everything. Yeah. And so it's not just hypothetical. It's they're doing it on your back office to show you exactly, so you're comfortable, which is absolutely huge. So the guys at the RedX were awesome. I want to thank you. You guys stick around. I want to show you something. I might have to. We'll see how this is. Let's see what this looks like. I have a big announcement for everybody. So by the way, let me just wrap up on the RedX. If you guys are even remotely curious, if you want to increase your average sale price, if you want to diversify how you prospect and lead gen and maybe go after some of those upper price points, that's how I got into luxury, right? I mean, fortunate enough, we were just voted the top luxury real estate coach. 12 years ago, I wasn't selling luxury. So the RedX was key for me to break into luxury. It was one of the components, like the portfolio that Tyler and I were discussing. It wasn't the only, but it was one of the things. And that is one thing I would tell you. If Melony picked up and moved out of Texas and moved to, who knows, Anchorage, Alaska, one of the things I would tell her to break into luxury in that market is cold marketing. Okay, lead gen, prospecting, RedX, canceled, expired, for sale by owner. So again, go to redx.com/Michael-Lafido. You'll get $150 off if you do sign up, or just go check that out. That's why I put the link in there. All right, I have another opportunity. We're so excited about this. Literally, we're just finalizing all the details. But this next thing is, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag with the visual. But our next opportunity is Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. It's going to be exclusive. Melony, this might be something you consider. We are literally putting together the registration page. If you're interested and just want to raise your hand and say, hey, Michael, send me more information. But the fastest way to become a leading authority is authorship. Number 2 is public speaking. Most people are intimidated about writing a book. I have the quickest and easiest thing, closest to a easy button, is if you want to be part of something special, we're going to limit it to only 20 contributors. We will literally do all the heavy lifting for you. We will give you questions to pick from. You will answer those questions on how you got into luxury. What are some best practices? What should a buyer or seller consider when hiring a luxury agent? We'll interview you. We will transcribe it. We will edit it. We'll give it back to you, Melony, and say, what do you think of your chapter? Oh, no, I want to do this, tweak this, and boom, we will give you a chapter in the book. It's guaranteed to be a bestseller. All the details can be found at Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. This will be released in the summer. We're going to give you social media things to help leverage. We're going to give you a report, 21 ways to leverage a book to grow your business in luxury. We're going to give you that report. We've already done it. So again, check it out. Go to Secrets of Top Luxury Agents if you guys are interested. All right. I wanted to make sure I covered that on today's training as well. Go to secretsoftopluxuryagents.com. All right. Any parting questions? Any parting thoughts from my RedX guys? From Melony? I got no comments, no questions from the audience right now. Again, if you guys do have a question, again, shoot me an email, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, michael@marketingluxurygroup. That's the best way if you're watching a replay of this. We have some amazing live streams that are on our YouTube channel where, again, last week we had a great guest. Next week, we're going to probably be doing it live from Cabo. We're going to give you a Cabo luxury real estate update next week. But again, go to youtube.com/@luxury specialist to find our previous episodes and hit that red subscribe button. Jonathan, Tyler, Melony, any parting thoughts?
No, you know what, Mike, I have admired your marketing for so many years, and everything from your videos. I still go back. I still tell people all the time about the train house, right?
Oh yeah,
and
trains,
the
and
videos
automobiles.
that you've done. Yeah. And truth be told, guys and gals, Michael is such a fantastic resource. Not just in the luxury market. I mean, this guy knows real estate. I've watched Michael for well over a decade, I think, at this point, do amazing things in the industry. Continue to use him as a resource. He's such a powerhouse and so incredibly knowledgeable. Michael, grateful for your friendship, grateful for your partnership here at RedX, and appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, I appreciate it. And, we talk about IT, Johnny on the spot. This is the house he was referring to. I sold a house that had a train around it. This is a snapshot of the video. I was touring buyers. It was actually Connor on my team and his wife. But I was touring buyers around in the video. And we had a networking event at this property, by the way. The train tipped over, derailed. Luckily, nobody got hurt. But I sold a house that had a Ricky Schroeder train around it, and that's what you see right there. You're absolutely right. Thanks, Tyler, for all you're doing. Jonathan, I appreciate what you're doing. Melony, love that you're hungry, you're growing, you're doing some amazing things. Keep it up. check back with us. If you do implement the RedX, let me know, shoot me a note, and we'd be happy to have a best practices on what you're doing. And just thank you for your time. And I hope that the boot camp that you went through was helpful, Melony. I hope it brought value. The luxury boot camp that we did with the RedX. And I know we're planning on doing some other things again, Tyler, with luxury, and maybe we'll do an event out at headquarters in Utah, and I can have another Moscow Mule. Again, my good friends over there. My first Tito's copper mug was with our friend on Boston at that boot camp you had. What's the guy? You know who I'm talking about. He's a product user of yours. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Derek, probably.
Yes, muscular guy.
Yep, Derek Lipsky. Yep,
Derek Lipsky. Derek gave you a shout out. He's out of Boston. He's a rock star. Him and I went out to help do some Q&As with your employees years ago. Yeah. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. All right, perfect.
Absolutely.
Guys, you guys are awesome. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melony. Thank you, Melony, for clipping all of that together for us. We can't wait to put that marketing together.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Have fun.
We can't wait to get it. And, I'm putting Jonathan on the spot. He said they're going to have all those clips ready by April 15th. Jonathan, thank you so much. I just cut him off. So nothing like putting him a deadline on there. Tyler, hold him to it. He just volunteered.
You got it. You got it.
All right. Melony, appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you so much. You take care.
Folks, some great guests. That was the first on our live stream. We had 4 guests there. Again, my name is Michael Affito. Keep raising the bar, prove others wrong, and thrive off things. Thrive off things when people tell you can't do things, right? Accountability is a good thing, by the way. Accountability, deadlines, don't get me started on schools, and you can turn in the homework late. Guess what? You're late on a listing appointment. You're late, you get fired. Accountability isn't a bad thing. Accountability is not a bad thing. Don't always turn things into politics, people. Accountability is a good thing. Again, my name is Michael Affito. Remember, garbage in, garbage stays. What are you focusing on? What are you listening to? Turn off the news. They want to divide you. They want to divide me. Again, I'm your host, Michael Affito. Keep raising the bar, and I appreciate everybody. Again, until next time, you're listening to another episode of the Luxury Specialist Podcast. Prove others wrong. Take care, everybody.